Good morning. Hello, hello. Well, happy birthday, Kathy. Oh, you guys, it is cold. Cold. All the schools around here had already canceled by last night because the wind chill is currently -20. And in this area of Ohio, most of the kids are walkers within so many miles of the school. I remember how far I used to walk when I was in school. And so they feel like it's not safe for the kids to be out walking. And so they had canceled school. And then both my sister and my niece, who are school teachers in other cities, also their school was canceled today too. They had put my sister on a 2-hour delay last night, so she got to sleep in before they canceled this morning. And then my niece, they had already canceled late last night. So it was a wind chill day for everybody instead of a snow day for everybody. But my room is currently 55 degrees, you guys. 28% humidity in here, so it is dry and it is cold. When I first woke up, it was 50. I was missing that earring. It was 53 in here. So Dad's got a fire going. It just hasn't taken off yet. Thanks. This one is different. I know it's another fedora. It is different from last week's. This one has plaid on it. It's also bigger than the other one. Thrifted it, of course. Still trying to go through all of my hats. And I was thinking as I put this on this morning, I'm like, man, I'm not getting rid of any hats. But then I'm thinking, am I choosing all of my favorites first? Is that what I'm doing? So either I love all of the hats I own, or I've just picked my favorites to wear first. Good morning, Apple. Good morning, LaDonna. Thank you. LaDonna, you have the best Instagram. I'm so happy I follow you on Instagram. I've seen some amazing stuff on Instagram. And let's talk about Blanco Glass, you guys. So if you don't know, Blanco Glass is still producing glass. To this day, still producing glass. In fact, they're closed today for a snow day. But they recreated their neodymium glass. You know, the glass that looks purple or blue depending on the light. They recreated it, special limited run for Valentine's Day. Oh, Apple, I love that. I love that. But so expensive, you guys. So expensive. They produced a swung vase and then 2 decanters. One is like perfume decanter size, one's regular decanter size. And then they did what they're calling a ruby, but when they've got the pictures up on Instagram, it looks a little like orangey. So, but they're calling it ruby. So you guys ought to go to blanco.com and look at the neodymium that they have reproduced. And they were worried that they wouldn't be able to get close to their original formula because colors change over the years from, or, the places they're buying their things from change a bit or whatever. But they said they could not have gotten any closer and they were so excited. So you guys have to go to blanco.com and see that. It's amazing. Good morning, Kraken. If you've come in and I've not said good morning because I was rambling, good morning. Thank you for being here. Do you guys ever do this where you put blush on so you don't look dead? And then you've got too much blush on and you look like a little girl playing dress up in her mom's makeup. Good morning, Marcy. So I'm just going to go back to the beginning because I don't know who all I said good morning to. Everybody needs to say happy birthday to Kathy because she's turning 69 in 2 days. Yay. Good morning, Diane. Good morning, Alice. Good morning, Apple. Good morning, LaDonna. Oh, Kim, I missed you coming in. Good morning, Kim. Good morning. Did I say Kathy? See, I've already lost track of you. Yeah, because it's Kathy's birthday in 2 days. Good morning. Did I say Marcy? Good morning, Kraken. Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Vicki. Okay. I think I've caught up. And actually, good morning, Roxana. Actually, I'm comfortable in this temperature, but my cats complain. They huddle together and then meow at me, and Blue will yell until my dad comes down and builds a fire. And then once it gets going and the blower kicks on, he has a basket that he lays right in front of the blower. It's his favorite. All right, so coffee cup of the day is this one. And you guys have seen this one before because our beautiful Bridget, the Baker's Daughters LLC, sent this to me as a gift. Probably, wow, maybe in 2021. Maybe I've had this one 3 years now. But if you are not on Instagram, Bridget did announce this week that she was diagnosed with breast cancer back in October. And this week she is undergoing a double mastectomy. So I am sure that she would appreciate your prayers. If you're on Instagram, send her a message telling her you're thinking of her and praying for her. She is a bright, beautiful, bubbly addition to our community. And I hope that she heals quickly. If you missed yesterday's update, I will be staying with my sister. And this is the sister that has the tiny 2-bedroom apartment and a husband and a 13-year-old son. But she's offered to let me stay with her. And so I'll be making that move the 3rd week of next month. And then my brother's going to get me a storage unit. So good morning, Roxanne. I was able to get all of my Christmas stuff packed up. And I think I started out with 14 totes and I got it down to 7. So my daughter took some. I threw out some things that were just kind of old and raggedy and donated just a few items. Actually, my daughter took almost all of the stuff that I didn't want anymore. So, and Christmas has always been my season. So I have a lot of both of my grandmother's Christmas items because my one grandmother's still living. She's in her 90s. She lives in a senior apartment. It's not assisted living yet. So like she goes downstairs for meals and to get her mail. But she has buttons she can push if there's an emergency. So that when she downsized from her condo, I got a lot of her Christmas stuff. And then my mom's mom, when she passed away, most of her style was completely and totally different from my mom's. So I got a lot of her stuff too. So I passed most of that stuff down to my daughter, kept my favorite things, and got my Christmas totes down to 7, which honestly I still think is absurd. It's still a lot. But like one whole tote is Christmas coffee mugs. And I did donate a few this year. I didn't keep all of my coffee mugs. I don't know. But my brother's offered to pay for a storage unit for the next year. So I don't even have to worry about it. There were no, well, I'll pay for it for 3 months and then see where he's like, I'm going to pay for it for a year. You've got a year. So when the weather is not doing what it's doing right now, good morning, Nancy. We will be going and getting that storage unit. And then I can just be taking a tote or two there as soon as I got them packed up. Because like right now, I could take all 7 of those Christmas totes and just put them in the storage unit. So that's the plan. At least we've got a plan now. It makes me feel a lot better knowing that I have a place to go. Good morning, Maria. So it's a relief. I mean, it's going to be a struggle. It's a tiny apartment. Hello, Belgian hippie, Heidi. But I mean, my sister's my best friend and we do get along really well. I don't know. We'll see. It's always a struggle when you live with other people and I want to be the fun aunt. I don't want to be a third adult in the house telling the 13-year-old what to do. And And my daughter is going to keep the cats for me. So, because my sister already has a cat that it was an outdoor cat. He was friendly to their son, but not really friendly to other people. And they didn't want to leave him on the property when his dad passed away. So, but you can't leave him outside in this neighborhood because they live on the corner of a main highway. And so he's an indoor cat, but we're not sure how friendly he would be. And it's just a lot in a tiny apartment. So that breaks my heart, but at least they'll be safe and I can go visit her and them. So that's what's happening with all of that. Health-wise, you guys, if you have chronic illness, chronic pain, arthritis, this time of year is not playing with you. Not playing. Okay, I think I have a really nice sale set up today. Some of the items were in previous sales last year, and I have marked them down, so this will be the lowest price they're at. A lot of these items are going to be brand new. I've never had them up for sale before because they're coming out of my personal collection. But as I'm sorting through stuff, if I'm not in love with it, then it's going to go. So while I really, really like a lot of these pieces, I am not in love with them when I have limited storage space, or I'm not going to see them for the next year. They could go to somebody else who's going to enjoy them. So that was kind of my thinking as I pulled things for today's sale. And we don't have a ton of snow. Ours has just been cold. It'll warm up a little bit, and then we'll get ice, and then we'll get a little bit, like an inch or two of snow on top of that. And then the bottom drops out of the temperature. But a week from Friday or Saturday, it's supposed to be in the 50s and raining here again, which is also not good for me. The rain's not good for me either. Okay, we are going to get started. If you do not know, I'll just go over the rules again since it's been a while. If you do not know how to purchase from a live sale, I will hold the item up, describe the item, show you anything that's wrong with the item. Good morning, Mary. Thanks. This is one of my faves. I think I got it at Goodwill, but it looked brand new. I will then hold up a card that has the price and then the number to type in. You type in that number and you will win the item if you're the first person in there. Thank you guys. Okay, so first up is this very fun, very 3D, look how far out this sticks, chalkware rose. Now, I will say the paint job on here is a little bit immature, inexperienced. This looks like I painted it and I have zero artistic abilities. So just be aware of that. The paint job is definitely not a professional paint job. Oh, Maria, that's funny. Good morning, Grace. So it's this big. This is as big as my face. It's only going to be $8. And I did have it hanging on the wall with the original hook that was embedded in it when it was made. $8, number 20. $8, number 20. And I'm giving myself 7 days to get shipping done. Because with the weather and the fibromyalgia pain flare-ups and everything, there's 7 days. If it should happen to take longer, I will always let you know. I always communicate. Next up is the rainbow apple. If you saw my preview, really hard to see the sticker. Oh, then you got the light from up here. The rainbow sticker, because it's kind of silvery, it's hard to see it. But Rainbow Glass Company, this has a really, really bad repair. Hey Tiger, when it's displayed, you don't see the repair at all. I had this displayed. Yeah, it does. Poison apple. Had this displayed in my kitchen for the last year. But it's one of those pieces, I don't love it enough to store it. Somebody else could enjoy it. So because of the terrible repair, I'm just asking what I paid for it. $5. $5, number 86 for a Rainbow Glass Company sticker that's got some schmutz on it. I can't even talk today. Came right off. I think that was a wax. Oh, Apple wants the apple. Thank you, Apple. I'm going to go with Apple first, Marcy, because I know that her intent was number 86. Oh, okay. Apple says to give it to Marcy. Are you guys going to argue about it? Okay. I will put Marcy down for that. Apple. Okay. Next up is the pair of chalkware flowers that look like this. And I'm not sure why, but the black and the pink were painted with a flat paint. And then the flower and the leaves were painted with a gloss, or they were treated with a gloss afterwards. So these are smaller than the rose one. If you know what flower that is, pop it in there. So let me show you the backs. Now the back does have a little loss, probably from hanging on the wall. Little paint loss of the pink. But these fit into my gallery wall so well. Since the theme of my gallery wall was pink and feminine, the floral just fit in there so well. And the reason I'm going to be getting rid of a lot of this art is my sister will let me hang some art on the wall, but what I'll probably hang is all of my daughter's art. And I have enough of my daughter's art to fill a room. So most of this will just be moving along to a new home. I've enjoyed it for a while now. So for the set, you get both of them. $10, number 3. $10, number 3. And these are lighter weight than this one. Like both of these together do not weigh as much as this one. I'm not sure why that one's so heavy. Next up is this beauty. This would have been a set of 2. It would have had a red and a green, and they were a Christmas release. I think they were sold in better department stores. I only have the red. And I actually got this from another reseller. I was in love with the red, would not have wanted the green, and she just had this one. This is heavy. So it does make a nice paperweight. It can sit this way. It can also sit this way. So super cute if you want to put a candle in it, but super cute if you want to display a little figure. I think it's beautiful. It's this size. It's another one I've really enjoyed having. the last 2 years. I've actually had this 2 years. $5, number 12. $5, number 12. And Roxana's guess on that flower was hibiscus. Oh, that's heavy. Okay, keeping up with our chalkware theme. It's a poodle. And the thermometer works. Oh, it's got a sticky spot on it right there. Well, kind of works. It says 60. This one says 55 in here. So pretty close. It's this size. This one is Miller Studios 1973. And this one was mass produced and they sent out. This was not a mold that you would go in and paint. They mass produced this and sent these out. So you can find this one online. And online, they run anywhere from like $23 to $60, I think. And of course, I'm not asking that much. It does have a little bit of wear on the corners. I did have it hung by its original hanger right here. And I believe it was stapled into the box that it was sent out in. And that's why you see these staples here. There's even one still new in package on eBay right now. So corners are a little foxed. It is $15, number 18. $15, number 18. Not only the pointy nose, can you guys read the temperature thing? It says sit and sweat at 110, soak and sleep at 90, scrape and scour at 70, shower and shake at 50, and shiver and shrivel at 30. And you guys, it's got a tiny swan on the temperature, right? That's a tiny swan. So, you know, I collect poodles and swans, and so this was one of my favorite things. Also, made in 1973, at least the mold was made in 1973, and I was born in 1973. Oh, I love that, Heidi. Set that carefully back down. Okay, make sure I'm not missing anything. Moving right along, here's an item I have marked way down. Fenton candle holder. This one can hold a variety of candles from a taper to a pillar. And these spots around here, hey, Carrie Ann, when I first got this years ago, I had no idea. I'm like, is that for tiny candles? I finally found the original advertising for this. This was to put flowers in. You could put flowers in along here, put your candle in the center. So it was a candle vase. It is a nice chunk of Fenton. And this one says patent number 3541569. It does not say Fenton. It would have had a sticker. And no chips, no cracks. It's in perfect condition. It's a little dusty. $10. $10, number 8. Tiger, I saw your picture of your 3 cats all sleeping together on the bed. Nice jammy pants, by the way. All right, first set of chalkware fish. If you saw my video yesterday, you know I have 2 sets. And this set is going to be a little more expensive than the green set because I paid more for them when I bought them. These were all hung by the original hooks that are embedded in the back of them. Here is the first one. This is the biggest one. And they have this gorgeous, like, gold speckle with highlights of green. So this is the first one. And this is another thing. You can find some of these on eBay, and the prices went up to $100 on them for a set of 3. Like, prices can be crazy on these. Here's the second one. There's his hook. And I'm not seeing any major chips. Okay, here's a little chip right here. Okay, so that's the only chip on him. The middle size doesn't have any chips. And let me look at the baby before I show you the baby. I don't see any on the baby. Here's the baby. So let me show you very carefully all 3 of them. They're so good, you guys. So much fun. And you can find these in such a multitude of colors. And they have like single ones listed where somebody's only found one of the set. But I have 2 sets that are complete. So this set, $20, number 19. $20, number 19. Oh, and I see Carrie Ann first. Set these down carefully. I quite enjoyed these for a while. When I was growing up, my grandma had the ones with the big lips, and they had the bubbles, so they were like the turquoisey teal, you know, that very early 1960s colors. And I loved them so much. And nobody knows what happened to them. Somewhere along the way, they probably got donated. All right, Carrie Ann came in first for the golden cream chalkware fish trio. So I've always been fascinated by the fish just because they were in my grandma's bathroom when I was a kid. I quite enjoyed having these 2 sets. And I found these at different places, but within like a month of each other, which was really cool. Here is the green set. And he has a tiny chip right there. And these are a little dusty. I just pulled them right off the wall. Little chip on the underside so you don't see it. And I did have all of these hung by their hangers. So there's the bigger one. And when I ship these, I ship them like they're glass. I wrap them up just like they're glass because this chalkware can be, you have to be gentle with the chalkware. My grandma also had chalkware poodles. Those were amazing, but they got so bad because they kept falling off. They were super heavy. They kept falling off the wall and eventually just had to be tossed. But I was obsessed with those when I was little. So got a little chip right there and a bigger chip right there. This one has the biggest chip out of all of them. Little chip right there. So the little one's been through a lot. But when he's hanging, this is what he looks like. So I will show you all 3 again. And these are going to be $15, number 2. 15, because I paid a little less and the little one is a little chippy. Oh, we've got Diane coming in for the green fish. And if those had been turquoise or pink, I wouldn't have gotten rid of them. But really, that color doesn't, if I've got to go down to one color palette, it's not going to be those colors. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. And I appreciate all of you for hanging out with me. Did we see that my brooch of the day is a cat? And I got this from another reseller, just don't remember who. And then my earrings are cats that my daughter got me. And even up here, I've got little cats in my smaller holes up here. Oh, but Diane, that's wonderful. I'm glad. Okay, so I have a bit of Viking. Just one, though. This is a 3-toed epic line. No chips, no cracks. Just your basic candlestick, but it is Viking, the epic line. And I have marked this one down. $8, number 7. $8, number 7. The feet on those are the real star. Next up, I'm going to show you the damage first. Not damage, but extra paint on these. These are from the 1940s from all of my research. And I believe at one point they would have had printed on the back, copyright by Lou A. Butler. You can see a very faint printing here that says something about lovebirds. But I found others online that say copyright Lou A. Butler, right? It's stamped right on them. And they're the exact same. Oh, thanks, Maria. So, and all the ones I found online were dated to the 1940s. The one that was stamped at the copyright had 1943 on it. These are darling, and they're so little and so sweet. 6 3/4 inches long from tip to tip. There's a little dust in these. When I got these, you guys, they were so filthy. They were almost completely filled up with dust. They had hung on somebody's wall, probably since the 40s. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about. So on here, we have a dot of paint. And I didn't mess with it. I mean, I cleaned these, but I didn't mess with the dot of paint because I didn't want to take off what was under it. It looks like somebody was probably painting the wall and dripped a drop of paint on it without moving the birds. I see people in TikToks painting their house, the interior of their house, without moving stuff, without covering stuff, without taking stuff off the walls. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, it makes me crazy. My mom always taught me to empty the room, or at least move everything in the middle of the room, put drop cloths over the stuff in the middle of the room, and then paint properly. Like, she taught me how to paint properly, doing all of your edging. Oh, people on TikTok just be slapping paint everywhere. And then this one has, and it's a different color blue, which is why I think it paint dripped on here later. So just so you know that those are there. For their age, they're in fantastic shape. They do have a bit of chipping at the edges. But 1940s lovebirds in this gorgeous, gorgeous blue. And these for the pair are going to be $20, number 1. Thanks, Heidi. I do think they are pretty and elegant. When I originally bought them, I bought them for resale, and then I never put them into a sale. I cleaned them up and stuck them on my wall instead. Awesome. I see Diane for those. And don't forget, this time of year, you absolutely want to leave your packages to warm up for 24 to 48 hours inside so that your items come back to room temperature before you unpackage them. I know we say it a lot, but we would hate for vintage things to get broken because you were too excited and opened them too quickly. Okay, next up, Amber Fenton cat shoe with the hobnail. It says Fenton on the bottom. So we know that it was made in the 70s because there's no 8 at the bottom of that. Classic Fenton. Hey, Mary. Classic Fenton shoe with the cat hanging out. I bought all of these for resale and then ended up with a collection by accident, which is how a lot of my stuff goes. Collection by accident. And this is the lowest price I've ever had this one at. He is only $6, number 15. $6, number 15. I know a lot of people do not like amber glass. I love amber glass. I just think it's so warm and lovely. Next up is the Starlight Aqua Phone. I have no idea. Oh, Jazdia. Hey, girl. I have got you down for the shoe. So I have no idea if this works or not. When I bought it from an antique dealer, it said as is. I loved it because these are the colors I have in my kitchen, the mint green and this blue and then pink, and I thought it was great. But I am willing to pass it along. So you can see Starlight there on the back. Now, some of these are listed as the Princess phone, but I think the Princess phone was more rounded. Unless they change the design from year to year, I don't think this is a Princess phone. I could be wrong, but they also made the Princess phone in pink, but it was more rounded here. So you do have, and it is sun faded. You can see quite clearly the original color versus the faded color. And I love that it is, because they made these for a lot of years. And so they do have these that are push button, but this still has the dial. And LaDonna says I'm correct. I don't know a lot about vintage phones, but I was pretty sure the people who have this one listed on eBay as a Princess phone were wrong. So the cord came with it. Cord's still on it. You can see the sun fading because this is what the color it should have been. It is $25, number 10. $25, number 10. Oh, can't be holding that up like that. Okay, next up, another glass shoe. This one is not marked on the bottom. So it could be Fenton. I mean, it feels like Fenton, but I can't say for sure. This one is hobnail, has a kitty. I agree, Tiger. And this one is also $6, number 11. This is the avocado green. I had somebody gift me an emerald green one. I'm keeping the emerald green one because I love the emerald green color. Probably because emerald is my birthstone. Oh, Jazzy is going to take that one too. Awesome. They get to stay together. That makes them happy, Jazzy. All right, I have some tiny art. These all three say they are stamped made in Italy on the back. So, and look, this is the size. It is a girl in a giant dress on a swing, if you can't tell. Here's the back, and then right here is where it says made in Italy. And 4 inches from top to bottom. Less than 3.5 from side to side. So that's the first one. And all three are going to go together. So same size on this one. And this one has a couple of maybe girls that are herding their sheep or goats, or, oh, it's a cow and a goat. You got a broken down castle there in the background. So tiny, tiny, tiny. This one says made in Italy right there under my finger. And then this one is round and even smaller. So 3x3 says made in Italy right there. And it's got a building. I'm sure it's an important building. So here they are. I had them all three hung together. And it's interesting because the back has very different paper. This has very 1950 stars on it. And this one has fleur-de-lis. And this one has a bit different, maybe fleur-de-lis. Anyway, all three of them are $10, number 16. $10, number 16. I've had this one up for sale before. Oh, there's LaDonna. Thank you, LaDonna. This is a match holder. This is the striker plate right here. Hangs right here. It's this big. And I don't feel any chips or cracks. At one point, because I have this one in amber and I have this one in pink, at one point I was going to collect them in every color, and then I never found any. In the last 4 years, I've only ever seen the amber and the pink one. Let's see. It is like 4 1/4 long and then 3 inches wide at the boot part. I love these. This is also taken a markdown. $8, number 13. $8, number 13. Oh, Diane will take that one. Thank you, Diane. I didn't have room on my desk for my water earlier. Did you guys see my collection of nesting dolls back here? Usually I've got them on the other side of the room, and since I took all the Christmas down, I'm like, I'm going to show off my nesting dolls. Some are vintage, some are not. Okay, I've got more tiny art. And these say patent pending on the back. I'll show you here in a minute. They're darling. They're just darling. They're this big. And I had these hung together, both at my last place and here. So here's the picture. And then here in tiny, tiny letters, it says Pat Penn. Oh, I love that. Thank you guys for hanging out today. I appreciate you being here. So 3 1/4 inches long, 3 inches wide on this one. And then this one is a snowy scene. And there were, if you missed it, there were people on the boat there at the bottom of the picture in this one. Then there's people in this one too. And this one then also says Pat Penn right there. And I did have them hung by these little hooks. The wood is starting to separate just a bit on this one. And this one longwise, a little bit over 3 1/4. And like 2 3/4 this way. It's a little tiny art. I think these are darling, just darling. And for the set of them, you get both. It's just $6, number 6. $6, number 6. Ooh, LaDonna's gonna take those. Next up, I believe this one is Kemple, which would make it most likely an antique. It does have a chip on it. Oh, I love that. LaDonna, I had them in a gallery wall at my last place. And then when I moved in here to my parents, I just had them going down a strip on one of the columns here. So here is the bottom, which is why I think it's Kemple, which would make it antique. This does not have a chip. Huh, I must have had sugar in here over Christmas, or candy in here. There's sugar in the bottom. It does have a chip right here. I don't know the best way to show you guys, but right here, there's a chip on the lid, which is pretty good for an antique piece of glass to only have that one chip. And when you display it like this, you don't see that the chip's not directly on the top. It's coming up the side right here. So when you got the lid like this, you don't even see that it's got the chip. It's this big. So bigger than a sugar jar. Perfect for candy because I had candy in it. With the lid on, it stands like 7 inches, but with the lid off, it's 4. And it is only $8, number 9. $8, number 9. And I'll wipe the sugar out, but I'm not going to wash it because I never want to put water. It might not get dry on glass when I'm about to ship it. So I'll wipe the sugar out, but I would wash it after it warms up at your house. $8, number 9 for the antique glass. Next up is this cameo art, which is a very interesting piece. Now, it would have had a hanger on the top here. When I bought it, it didn't have it. And LaDonna, you get the worst boxes. They hate you. I don't know why. Your stuff gets delivered so badly. So somebody at some point added this. Thanks, Spirit Junkie. Because this was no longer here. It was already on there when I got it this way. It hung just fine. This back is velvet, you guys. It's velvet. And it's got its original. So when I looked up this company, they did a lot of cameo art. So the cameos are metal. So these little, which is very cool. And then this is velvet. So there's some wear to the white here. But overall, it's just a really cool piece. I think it's, I got to get my longer measure out. I think it's about 13 inches long. Let's see. Oh, 13 inches exactly. And just under 4¼ inches wide. So this is what it looks like. But I loved the cameos. And again, if this was in a different color, I absolutely would have kept it. But since once again I am downsizing for what, the third time since 2020 I'm downsizing, I am keeping just one color palette. So this is going to be $10, number 5. $10, number 5. It ought to, Spirit Junkie. Look, you guys, we've gotten up to 56 in my room now. At least I'm not going to be sweating today. Usually I'm sitting here sweating. Okay, next up. You guys have seen this one before. It's taken another markdown. It is the Federal Glass Madrid pattern candlestick. And this is a lighter amber. I try to never leave the house in this kind of weather. So here's the Viking compared to color. Here's the Fenton. So it's another thing I love about amber is just the different shades from root beer all the way to the yellow almost. So little candlestick. This one is Federal Glass and the pattern is Madrid, and it is just $5, number 10. $5, number 10. And we are coming to the end. I've just got a few more items. I think everything left is going to be $5. Next up is this tiny trivet. It's a little trivet. This one's from the 80s because it is Homco made in Taiwan, so probably the 1980s. And it's got the Winton car on it. Still has its Homco sticker on the back. And this one is perfect for sitting your cup of coffee on. Or hanging on the wall like I had. $10, number 5 on the cameo wall art. Oh, put that in the wrong spot. It was $5, number 17 on the candlestick. Sorry, guys. $5, number 17 on the candlestick. Thank you, Jazdia. Oh, good, Kathy. I love it. Use the stuff. Did you guys see my latest Instagram picture? Mom made tacos last night, and we used my berry bowls. So I had the big bowl with the little feeties, and then all the tiny little berry bowls with the little feeties. And we did taco night last night out of those. And I was so excited because sometimes I don't, living by myself before I moved in here, a lot of that stuff I'd collected recently, I hadn't even gotten to use. Okay, Lemmy, so did you want the Madrid candlestick since I had screwed that up? Because sorry, got distracted. I was doing things wrong. So let me know if that's what, because this was number 17 and I had it wrong. $5, number 17 on this. And thank you, Jazzy, for pointing out I'd used that card 2 times in a row. This one is going to be $5, number 4. Awesome, Lemmy. Let me put you down for that. So darling little Humco trivet with the antique car on it, $5, number 4. Put this back here. Next up, green glass boot. This one has a chip right here. I'd originally bought it for resale and didn't see the chip, and then just put it in with my collection, part of my inadvertent boot and shoe collection, but he needs to go now. Displayed this way, you don't see the chip, but you definitely see the chip here. So, got a nice chip on him. It's a daisy and buttoned, unmarked. A whole bunch of different companies made these. My cats eat out of vintage bowls too, Ladonna. All right, so the green glass boot, daisy and buttons with a chip, $5, number 21. $5, number 21. Next up, tiny chipmunk art. Jazzy is going to take the boot as well. Thank you, Jazzy. Tiny chipmunk art. It's this big. And this was painted in 2019 by MCD. I love to support local artists. So I don't know where I picked this up at. A lot of times they're at flea market booths, but sometimes I've picked original art up from the artist sitting at their mom's garage sale. Mine have never tried to knock my fountain over, but my daughter's cats knocked their fountain over. So, tiny little art, adorable. I probably purchased this directly from the artist. I just don't remember. $5, number 14. $5, number 14. The one garage sale I went to, it turns out I went to high school with the woman, and her daughter was an artist who had her art out. And so we talked because my daughter's an artist too. And then I bought a piece of her art. Donna's going to take that tiny one. Awesome. I'm glad you guys like the tiny art like I do. Last candlestick for the day. And look how orange this amber is. So let me show you compared to the Fenton. It's definitely got more of an orange tone. So pretty. I couldn't identify the company. I don't know. Oh, it's so pretty. So pretty. This is why I get suckered in and I buy amber pieces, because I just think they're gorgeous. But I cannot have so many collections. $5, number 74. This one I think is just elegant. The shape of it. No chips, no cracks. $5, number 74 on that one. And last piece of the day is interesting. This would have been a hobbyist piece. They glued, I see Jazzia first on that one. Oh, wait. Okay, I'm going to have somebody check me on that, because Jazzy is showing first here and Lemmy is showing first on here. So you guys tell me who you see first. So they took a piece of ribbon and glued it onto the back. This is ceramic. Okay, Lemmy. And that is why I have two devices, you guys. Thank you. Lemmy is getting that one. Find space for it. And then it looks like a This picture was maybe glued in here and then glazed over. I don't know. I don't know what's happening here, but it's adorable. So it's a little outdoor scene with some birch trees. It is 4.5 inches. Yes, decoupage. Couldn't remember that name, the name of that. And then 3 3/4. My mom did some of that art with her home ec class back when I was a kid. So early 80s. Decoupage. And it is just $5, number 25. $5, number 25. And I did not use this. I actually had it hung, I had a nail here. And it looked like you could have screwed one of those hangers on the top, but it didn't have it when I got it. And LaDonna's going to take that one. Awesome. So anybody coming in late, did you want to see some of the stuff that was maybe on my first page? Let me know if you do. I know we've been on an hour. My coffee hot chocolate is delicious. Okay, Tiger's asking for a recap. So we'll go over stuff that was on the first page. So I had the hobbyist piece, rose, very 3D. Okay, Donna will take the phone. Awesome, Donna. I'll get to that. The Starlight phone. Thank you, Donna. Okay, so the rose chalkware plaque. Aw, thanks, Spirit Junkie. I've already taken 8 ibuprofen today. That's how I'm getting through. So that one was $8, number 20. And then we had the chalkware flowers, which again was an interesting choice on the paint because they did a very matte on the black and the pink, and then did a glossy finish on the flower. But it really does pop when it's on the wall. Yes, $8 because it's heavy and it's going to be a bit to ship. And I did have it hung by its hanger. $8, number 20 on that one. Okay, and this pair is $10, number 3. $10, number 3. And like I said, they really popped on my chalkware wall, or on my gallery wall. Next up was this candle holder, which was a Christmas set. It would have come with a green one. I only have the red. I bought off another reseller. And it is $5, number 12. Also very heavy, very paperweighty. But I love that you could display it both ways. $5, number 12. The Fenton amber candle holder. Thank you, Marianne. Marianne's taking the red candle holder. Awesome. Hi, Marianne. So the Fenton, and these were made for flowers to go into. So if anybody ever wondered what all the tiny little ones around are, I found the original advertising for this piece, and flowers were supposed to go in here, and then a pillar candle in the center, but you can put a taper candle. There are 3 different candle size holes in the center. No chips, no cracks. It's a gorgeous piece. It's just amber glass, and amber glass not super collectible right now. So $10. That's it. $10. Number 8. $10. Number 8. And then we had the Viking Epic line, 3-toed, but just a single one. This one was $8, number 7. And then the most likely Kemple apothecary type jar. This had the big chip right here. Right there. Can't see it when you display it this way. Most likely Kemple glass, most likely antique. And this is $8, number 9. And that was everything from the beginning. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. So keep our friend Bridget in your prayers. If you missed it, I talked about in the beginning, Bridget was diagnosed in October with breast cancer. This week she's having a double mastectomy. I'm not even trying to say that word right. You can send her an encouraging message on Instagram if you're on Instagram. I know she's on Facebook, but I'm not on Facebook. So keep her in your prayers. And she had put it up on Instagram, so I am allowed to talk about it publicly now. But she has been dealing with that since October. And that's all for today, guys. I'm going to try to stay warm because wind chill is -20 out there. Oh, we got up to 57 so far. Bridget, Jastia, the Baker's Daughters LLC. I've done some sales with her. She's blonde, real pretty. Bridget always reminds me of a cheerleader. She's just got that energy. But she's the one that sent me this mug. And I think let me type it in. And I don't know if it's all one. If it's all one word. But the shirt should get you to that. Thank you, Barbie. So the Baker's Daughters LLC. And if you've been following me since the beginning, you've seen her on my channel before. And if you know my health issues, then you know why I'm not doing sales with other people right now. So I have had people send me invitations to do sales right now, and I just cannot. I physically don't have the energy to do sales right now. So I appreciate it when you guys ask me to do sales with you. And hopefully, as I rest after this move and get my energy back up, I'll be able to do sales with people again because I miss it. I really, really miss that. I love this community. And this is still fun for me, but it's also tiring. Just to do the one sale on my channel every week. All right, I'm going to go. You guys have a great week. Stay warm. If it's icy, stay inside. Just stay inside. Just don't leave the house. Hot chocolate, good book. All right, bye, guys.